Hi, Mrs. Morris. You can have a seat right here.
Okay.
I just want to first start off saying it was a pleasure working with your son this semester, and every Wednesday afternoon when I would see him, I'd get so excited that I'd be providing speech and language services to him.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed your time with him.
Thank you so much. So I just want to go over a progress note with you, and basically it's just a report of how he was at the beginning of the semester when I saw him and how he was at the end of the semester. And your son has made significant improvements and gains in his communication and his fluency. So I just want to say at the beginning, he had a hard time remaining eye contact with his communication partner. He had a hard time maintaining fluency. He showed anxious tendencies, and that's why I implemented before each session the progressive relaxation exercises and the automatic fluency naming task. The progressive relaxation exercises are a way for him to calm down and relax before the session begins. The automatic naming fluency task is just a way for him to rapidly and consecutively just name off either girls' names that are in his class or boys' names that are in class or numbers 1 through 50 as fast as he can, just to help him work on his fluency. So I would say, okay, say as many numbers as you can, 1 through 50 as fast as you can. So he'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would judge and see how long it would take him to get to 50.
Okay, so what about the progressive relaxation exercises? Can you demonstrate them for me?
Yes, I would love to. So I'm just going to have you move out away from the table, just like that. And I'm going to have you lift up your arm first, and I'm going to have you just relax it. Perfect. And what I saw your son do a lot of the time was he'd have his arm around here, and I'd tell him to relax, and he'd go like that. And I would just explain to him that's not relaxing. He's still so tensed up. So I would just show him, you're like this, just relax. Take a deep, big breath. And that's all you need to do.
Yes. Okay.
And we did this with each of the arms, each of the legs, and his shoulders before each treatment session.
Okay. So is this something that I should continue to do at home?
Yes, it definitely is. If you see your son at home getting anxious or frustrated over something, just tell him to step away and do some of these progressive relaxation exercises with you, and it's a way for him just to calm down.
Okay.
And I would do this with the arms, the legs, and the shoulders unless he's having a bad day and he doesn't want anything to do with it. Then be like, okay, it's fine if you just do one of them.
Okay.
So now I just want to go over some of the goals, and I have a few visual representations of those goals just to help you look at it and maybe understand the information in the material a little more than just reading it.
Okay.
So the first goal that we had was the progressive relaxation exercises, which we've gone over. And then we have the fluent speech when reading sentences aloud. He did a really good job with this. However, he ended up at the end of the semester at 70%. So this required him to work on his fluidity, his speech, and his rate. So you want to make sure that it's a low rate, and he has good fluency while he's reading aloud sentences, so when he's in class, he can do this effectively. Mm-hmm. The second goal was him reading sentences with minimum assistance, and it required him at the phrase and sentence level to go over it. And he did a good job. However, he also had a difficult time engaging with the communication partner, which was me, and maintaining that eye contact. Mm-hmm. So these goals should be implemented next semester because they weren't met at 80%. And this graph right here shows you that. So the breathing relaxation exercises were great, they were at 80%. His reading sentences aloud fluently were only at 70%, and his phrase and sentence level fluency were only at 75%. So he's right there, but he just needs to continue practicing. And I think with a lot more practice and treatment, he'll get there.
Okay. I really love this visual. It helps lay it all out and show his progress over the semester.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad it helps. So the next set of goals is just improving his organization for thought. So your son was diagnosed with being a stutterer-clutterer, and clutterers have a tendency to not be able to organize the thoughts that they're having to communicate efficiently and effectively. And it gets really jumbled up, and you have a really hard time understanding them. So with your son, we worked on structured speaking tasks. So I would give him a topic, and he'd have to talk about that topic for a certain amount of time and be able to express it fluently for me to understand him. And a lot of the times, I would pick a topic such as movies, and then he'd start talking about the weather. Mm-hmm. So topic maintenance continues to be a huge challenge for your son, and I hope to remediate that next semester when he comes back.
Okay.
So the second goal under this section is him to be able to sequence a 4-step story. So it seemed that when the pictures were childish, that's what your son told me they were, he had a really easy time sequencing them. But when the pictures became more complex, he had a more difficult time doing that. And that's understandable, but that's something we need to work on and continue to improve on, just noticing those small details.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a graph that you can see that shows that your son is almost there in remediating and discharging these goals, but he needs just a little more work and help.
Okay, great.
So the next set of goals are the TH sound. And I noticed that your son, instead of saying TH, he would replace it with the F or the V sound. But he went through these goals so quickly. He went through the phrase level, the sentence level, and the paragraph level so fast, and it was great. So it definitely makes me feel great, and I'm sure it makes you feel great because you're definitely implementing this at home with the TH flip book that I made for you and the various amounts of TH worksheets that I gave you to work with him at home. So by continuing this practice at home, made him, and me for that matter, discharge these goals so quickly.
Okay.
So that was great. He now is just working on the TH in a spontaneous speech. So what I noticed during the paragraph level is that he self-corrects and self-monitors a lot. So he's aware when he doesn't say the TH sound correctly now, which he wasn't able to do at the beginning of the semester. So that's fabulous. I'm so happy about that.
I've noticed the improvement at home as well.
Good, I'm so glad. And has his teachers said anything to you?
Yes, his teachers and our other family members have also commented on his speech.
Good, I'm so glad to hear that. So just working in spontaneous speech now is something that that your son should be able to do.
Okay.
So it's the end of the semester, and I just want to say that, again, it was a pleasure working with your son, and next semester the goals that he was not able to remediate should continue to be implemented. So intonation and prosody while reading sentences aloud or just reading chapter books should continue to be worked on, maintaining eye contact, sequencing pictures that are complex and detailed oriented should continue to be worked on. But his TH sound, he's made so much improvement since the beginning, so that's really rewarding to see for me. And I just want to say that your son loved to play Uno and Jenga, and I just really hope that whoever sees him next semester implements all these different activities that your son loved to do. And I know he loves science. He keeps talking to me about science experiments, and it'd be really cool if someone would be able to incorporate a science experiment into speech. I think he'd really appreciate that.
He really would love that.
Good. So that's something I could always mention to the clinician who sees him next semester. And yeah, so that's it. This is the progress note, and you can take it home and look it over, and if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to call me. I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Great. I can tell he really enjoyed his time here too. He told me that speech goes by really quick for him, so I think that's a sign that he really enjoys it.
Yay! I'm so happy to hear that. This is my first year working at the clinic and with clients, so to hear that, it's really rewarding. So thank you so much, and I'm so glad he had a great experience this semester.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. Bye.